If y'all were watching the live stream that I did with the plainest Jane, and shout out to her, I had brought up the topic about maps. And this wasn't my first time bringing that to people's attention on my channel before. I think I'd only mentioned it once before when I first heard about it a few months back. But I brought it up as a topic of discussion in that live stream because Jane does topics called Issues Under the Flag, where she talks about issues going on within the academy, not so much with the people's lifestyle, but stuff in which I'm about to talk about in this video. And I had brought it to her attention. But unfortunately, in that live stream, I didn't play the audio, or should I say the video that went along with why I brought that up. But I'm making a separate video today because I wanted to bring this to your attention. Now, the person that you see in this picture, their name is Miranda Galbreath, and she is a licensed, and at this point, she should be unlicensed considering what you're about to hear from her, sex therapist, among some other things. And you're literally going to listen and hear her defend or make a case for people who identify as quote unquote maps. Now, she's going to say in the video what that actually means. Some of you already know what it is, but in case y'all don't, I'm going to let the words come straight from the horse's mouth.
She, her pronouns, and I'm a licensed professional counselor and sex therapist in Erie, Pennsylvania. And today I want to talk about minor attracted persons. And I want to talk about minor attracted persons because they are probably the most vilified population of folks in our culture. And most folks are making incorrect assumptions about them without actually knowing much about them. And those assumptions create harm for an already marginalized population. You may have noticed that I'm using the term minor attracted persons, sometimes abbreviated to MAPS, instead of the more commonly used term pedophile. And I'm doing this because the term pedophile has moved from being a diagnostic label to being a judgmental, hurtful insult that we hurl at people in order to harm them or slander them. I also prefer person-first language that recognizes that any label we might apply to a person is only part of who they are and doesn't represent everything that they are. We are all people first with many different facets or parts of ourselves, and this includes folks who are attracted to minors. So to start with, let's talk about what a minor attracted person is or who they are. This term simply means that the person has an enduring sexual or romantic attraction to minors. They've not chosen this attraction, just as the rest of us have not chosen whatever our attraction is. You don't get to choose to be heterosexual or to be gay or whatever you are. And you don't get to choose to be a minor attracted person. Some minor attracted persons are attracted to a specific age range of minors, while some are not. And some minor attracted persons are exclusively attracted to minors and are not attracted to adults at all. Some minor attracted persons are also attracted to adults.
Okay, so it cuts off right there, and honestly, I already heard enough. That was 2 minutes and 17 seconds of hell that you just heard. So, first off, what was scary enough in this video, as the details are already eerie enough as it is how gleeful she sounds when she's talking about this. She sounds so happy. Like, this is such a good thing to be talking about, and it's really not. And how, ironically, she says she's out of Erie, Pennsylvania. Now, look at her appearance right here. She has the, she has the low cut, like the military cut, like the one that they first give you when you first enlist. And she says she identifies by her pronouns. So you already know she's quote unquote non-binary when you hear that. And I always tell you, them non-binary people are some of the craziest people on the planet. Think about Ezra Miller for an instance. He goes by they, them. Like I said, if you notice in any of the articles that I have read, or the article that I've recently, or the video commentary, whatever you want to call it, that I just did on him, they referred to him as they, them the entire time. They did not refer to him as he or him at all, anywhere in the article. And they have started to do that consistently. So it's almost as if Ezra Miller doesn't even have a whole identity anymore. That's just basically, what it is. But she literally made a claim of how to identify or minor attracted persons or maps and try to make a claim as if we should look at it as some kind of mental disability or mental disorder, or not what it actually is. Because notice that when she mentioned pedophile, she tried to make it seem like, pedophile is, we're trying to move away from that word. We're just going to call it minor attracted persons, as if there's a difference. She's trying to make it seem like minor attracted persons and pedophiles are two different things when they're the exact same thing. You're just putting a bow on top of a ribbon or whatever, and on top of a box where shit is still dwelling inside of the box. Like, who was she fooling? Like, really, who was she fooling? And she didn't even have to go into a definition of what MAPS was. It literally tells you right there in the word what it says: minor attracted, meaning you as that person has an attraction to minors, anyone under the age of 17. That's what it is. Like I said, we didn't need a whole diatribe or definition to tell us what it was. We know what it is. And it's absolutely disgusting and very disturbing. If y'all remember how many of you came to know what MAPS was because I did a video on this person right here, who was a person who was a professor or a teacher at Old Dominion University. And this was a person who I believe was born a woman, and they transitioned into that of a quote unquote man. And they literally tried to make the same claim that this other woman that you just heard from tried to say the same exact thing. And now this was last year. As you can see, the date says November 11, 2021. So it was late last year when this happened. If y'all go back and look through my videos, you will actually see my commentary about this individual right here. And they basically were saying the same exact thing that this other person was saying. I believe their name was Alan Walker. This person right here, name was Alan Walker. And I think they ended up getting fired from their school, and rightfully so. But the fact of the matter is, this person doesn't need to be anywhere teaching anything to anybody. Like, they were trying to make a claim for this MAPS thing, as well as try to shoehorn it in to the academy. Now, I actually saw a video where someone was addressing this person on another platform, and they were basically saying that we don't want that there, or we don't want it there because we already know what will happen if this gets interjected into there. If they're going to do this, let them do this on their own. Really, they shouldn't be doing it at all. But you just got to be very careful of the people out here. Like, when you have people like this and like this making these kind of claims, these people are sick in the head, and they are very, very dangerous. And they are some freaks. They are sick, and they are some weirdos. I don't care what anybody says. When you start to try to make a claim for what we obviously know is a pedophile, and try to twist it into something else to try to make it not seem what it is when you know exactly what it is, you are insane. You are a psycho. And they better be very careful, because they are playing a deadly game here, where they are going to set themselves up to most likely get taken out by these parents who are doing nothing but trying to protect their kids from people like this. As far as I'm concerned, she is a part of it. Anyone that can become an ally to align themselves or make a claim or a case to defend such behavior is a part of the problem. She is part of the problem. That Alan Walker, who you just saw on your screen, is another part of the problem. And notice it's mainly PC people that are making this claim. Now, this person right here is a biologically born woman. She's not, as far as I know, transitioning into anything, even though she cut her hair low like she wants to be a man. That Alan Walker was biologically born a woman that transitioned into a quote unquote man. Notice now that I'm seeing a pattern here. I'm noticing a pattern that it seems like these people that are advocating for this MAPS are typically white women who once was living as a woman who now wants to be a man. And then you have this white woman who is quote unquote non-binary. So she probably would get upset if you identified her as she. No, she said she. Listen, even I'm getting confused. I'm going to just stop myself before I throw myself off the wire. But yeah, watch out for these individuals because they blend in very well. That's all I can say. You know what's crazy? I remember a time when maps was actually used to help guide you to get from one place to another. It's crazy how times have definitely changed from then and now. At the end of the day, I truly believe what the people who are quote unquote maps, or those who are supporters of them or their allies, I think at the end of the day, what they're trying to accomplish is them to move away from being called pedophiles to them being established as a sexual orientation. I think that's what they're really trying to do. See, they feel like if they can go into being established as a lifestyle, they'll be protected. And who has a lot of protection? The academy. So if they can find a way to shoehorn themselves into that category, into that realm, into that space, they'll feel they'll be protected. But I'm going to say this, the academy, y'all better fight back against this if they keep trying to push and dig their way into getting into your spot, because y'all already got enough issues as it is. And it's already bad enough that a lot of people know or have these inkling feelings that there's a lot of people who are in that lifestyle who mess with these kids. Keep in mind, I just did a video about these two white men who were married and had adopted boys, and they were making them do sexual things with them and possibly with each other for their own pleasures. So it's not that far-fetched as some would actually like to believe. At the end of the day, I think that is their end goal. And then one thing I also noticed that she said was that you'll find some people, some minor attracted persons might be attracted to not minors, but also to probably adults. Imagine you went on a date with somebody. Everything's going good and everything is going great. Then all of a sudden months pass by and y'all have now established a relationship. And then one day they come to you and ask you, and it could be a man or a woman at this point, because as far as I'm concerned, this thing has no gender attached to it. It could be coming from a man or a woman. And they ask, you know what? I want to spice up the relationship a little bit. You know, I think I might want to try to bring someone into the bedroom. You know, it doesn't have to be an extra person that we throw onto the relationship that we've already established, but just someone that I, to see how it goes, just because it's always been maybe a fantasy of mine. And it could have been a fantasy of the other person's. And they say, okay, sure, who do you have in mind? And then all of a sudden, they tell you who it is, and then they tell you the age. And this person is under the age of 18. They're 17 and younger. Imagine that happening. Like, I know that would throw a lot of people off, those who have some sense and some integrity about themselves. That would literally almost make them probably want to throw themselves off the brick. Well, maybe not themselves because they're a sane mind, possibly the other person. But then they say, no, but I'm a map. I'm protected. I'm just giving y'all a little blueprint of what could possibly happen. Hopefully it doesn't get to that point. But you never know. A lot of things we said wouldn't get to a certain point. And that point is past. So just something to think about. But I'm going to end the commentary on that note. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like and share this content on your social media platforms. Be sure to subscribe if you are new. Have that bell click so you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live. All my links will be down in the description, and I'll talk to you in the next one.